Hi, today I am going to show you how to make my famous crack cookies. That's what I call them. The reason why I call them crack cookies is because they're made with coconut oil, and that's what makes them so good. Basically, they are no-bake cookies, but instead of using butter, they're made with coconut oil, and they are pretty much sugar-free except for the sugar that would be in the peanut butter themselves. It is made with Truvia sugar instead. So the ingredients that you would use is a half a cup of coconut oil, a half a cup of peanut butter, 1/2 cup of almond milk is what I use. It calls for, most of the no-bake cookies call for regular milk, but I use almond milk for everything. And then instead of regular sugar, it calls for 2 cups of regular sugar, but in my case I use 1 cup of Truvia sugar. So, and then I have protein powder that I use. This is whey protein. So this is the protein powder that I use. I use 3 scoops out of it for my protein mix, and then 1/4 cup of the cocoa powder. What I typically do is I first put all my dry ingredients together in a bowl. So I'll put the protein powder, the sugar, and the cocoa powder all together, and I'll take a whisk and I try to mix it all together, blend it in pretty well, so that way when you pour it in it's already pretty well blended and it gives it a better flavor. The next thing I do is I go ahead and take 1/2 cup of coconut oil and put it into the pan. You want to get organic coconut oil. That's the best to get. You don't want to get that Luann's because it's not real coconut oil, or it's not. Organic is the best for you. It is just the best for you overall, just because it's been proven to help with weight loss and helps your digestive system and things like that. So I put the coconut oil in first, and then I go ahead and add 1/2 cup of the almond milk, and then I go ahead and I'll turn on the heat and get that going. And you want to let the coconut, it won't take long for the coconut oil to melt down in with it. You want to start off by whisking it around while it's cooking down. You don't want to leave it alone. The whole time you're cooking the no-bake cookies, you want to keep stirring and stirring and stirring. If you don't, it'll get thick and hard, and it'll just make it hard for you to try to do it. The reason why I started doing this was because when I went on my diet, I was eating a lot of protein bars and a lot of protein shakes because it's really good for you to have protein for your diet. So it was getting really expensive, so I started just do it from home. And so pretty much this is the only thing I've made so far for the protein bars. I want to try to make a pumpkin protein bars, my next thing I'm going to go after. But so far I call these crack cookies because everybody likes them. They're really, really addicting, and they're really, really good. So it's kind of hard to believe that they're healthy and they taste so darn good. So another thing I do is I get one of the ice cream scoops. It makes it super easy to dish out when you're going to put it on to the wax paper. So I get a cookie sheet out, or you can get a cookie sheet out, or in my case I got a wire rack, and then you get some wax paper and you go ahead and lay that out. So I ran out of wax paper, so that's actually the very last of it. I'm going to make it last. So anyway, stir this up, and like I said, it's gonna melt pretty quick. There's also 2 cups of oatmeal that I use, and it calls for 3 cups, but I tried to lower it down to 2 cups to make it a little bit less carbs. Although oatmeal is great for fiber, it's great for protein, but it also has a lot of carbs in it. But it also, the consistency is a lot better, I found, when I just did 2 cups. And I added an extra scoop of protein because that was really what I was going for, was the protein anyway. All right, so everything is melted down. So the next thing you want to do is take the peanut butter, and I have this already measured out. So you take the peanut butter, and you want to go ahead and scoop that out, and it'll melt down fairly quickly too. Thing about peanut butter, again, you want to keep stirring. At this point, after you've got everything melted down, you kind of want to turn your heat down a little bit, maybe down to a medium, I would say. I have like, I don't know, 1 through 10 levels. So I put it on about a 7 or a 6 at this point. It's going to melt down pretty quickly with the peanut butter. Peanut butter needs to be all natural. You want to use something with no hydrogenated oil in it. Make sure you read your labels on everything. And yeah, you want to make sure you keep your heat down, because if not, it gets too bubbly and the consistency, and then it starts to splatter, of course. So you have to remove it off the thing. But the thing about hydrogenated oil that's bad, it clogs up, you know, your arteries and all that stuff. So I'm going to remove this for just a minute. But all natural is what you're looking for. It's very important. I like Peter Pan's really my favorite, is that they have an all natural. But if you're at Sam's Club and you make a lot of these crack cookies or no-bake cookie protein bars or whatever you want to call them, it's really better to get these, because it's more, you know, economical when you're having to go through so much. But this is really good too. And I like that Peter Pan with the honey. That's some pretty good peanut butter I use too. So anyway, after that all melts down, then you want to go ahead and add in your dry mixture. And then one other thing I forgot to mention was the fact that you want a teaspoon of vanilla. I usually add the vanilla in with the oil and the almond milk when I'm first putting everything in, because it's only a teaspoon anyway. So I usually add in my dry mixture, and you want to just keep stirring and adding, because you don't want to put it all in one time. It's just not really a good idea. So and sometimes the powder will fall onto the stove and you'll smell a burnt smell, but it's okay. Now, when it gets so thick that it's going through the whisk like that, I have a wooden spoon over here. At that point, you kind of want to use a wooden spoon, because it's starting to get thick, and so it just makes more sense. So that's the last of that. And you want to stir this up really, really well until it's all blended in really, really good. After everything is mixed in all together, oh, one more thing is a dash of salt. I forgot to mention that. Okay, so after all that is mixed in, I already have my oatmeal put into like a little container. And you do it the same way. Just add a little bit and stir. You add a little bit and stir. It's really important that you keep stirring through the whole process, because if you don't, it just doesn't, it's harder to work with. It's harder to get everything to blend together. So that's why I always make sure that you have to stir through the whole process. Now I will mention, because you are using coconut oil instead of butter, obviously the fat is going to be more, but I did count the calories on it and everything like that, and it's really not that much more fat, and it's healthier and it tastes better. So I tried this new coconut oil that a friend had given me, and if you really like the taste of coconut, this one here is the one to go for. This does have really a good coconut flavor in it. The other one that I use, which is Sam's Club, is organic coconut oil. This one also is a really good one, but that one tastes more coconut-y flavor. But the other one doesn't taste so coconut flavor, so you really can't taste it, but it is organic and it is good for you. I use coconut oil for everything, no matter what I'm cooking, if it's chicken or shrimp. And sometimes I use olive oil and stuff, but most of the time I use coconut oil for everything. It's very, very, very good for you for weight loss. And again, these are pretty much, I wouldn't say they're completely sugar-free, because there is a little bit of sugar in these. It's got 3 grams of sugar for each scoop, and which is really not that bad, because I put 3 scoops in here, so that's 9 grams. So once it gets all mixed in really well, and you know it's got the desired, you want to go ahead and put it on low. That way it's still kind of warm. That way when you scoop it out, it still stays, you know, good for you. But 9 grams of sugar is not that bad because of the fact that I'm going to make 14 cookies. And so in the end, it's like 1 gram of sugar for each cookie, if that. And then in the peanut butter has 3 grams of sugar. So there's 3 and 3, so that's 6. So that's still not bad. So by the time I measured it out, I have the calorie count on that, and I can list that up here later when I upload it. Okay, so now this is good, and I'm going to try to show you what you're looking for. Let me see if I can get the light on there. So if you guys can see that. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and turn that down some more. So now that it's a big blob of basically no-bake cookie dough, and you go ahead and get your ice cream scoop, and you just scoop out. And so I wish I could get this on here so you could see. And you're just going to scoop it out like so. And for the most part, I make 14 to 15 of these for each batch that I do. I like to get the ends of it off because it makes it nice and round. This makes it so easy when you're trying to get it put on the cookie sheet. I have another one, but it's a smaller one for like regular cookies, but I've been unable to find it. There you go, you can kind of see them. I get asked about this recipe a lot. I will literally have not had one person say they have not liked these. And that's a good feeling to know, because, I mean, it's okay to each his own. If somebody doesn't like, that's cool, but everybody that has tried them so far has liked them. That's how good they are. And then I had a friend at work. She's actually allergic to coconut oil. And so I made them same way, just with butter, and not even near tasting the same. Doesn't even taste as good. Now, I also tried to make it with a little bit less coconut oil because I thought, well, you know, I'll cut down on the fat, but it doesn't, that oil really does make it a better texture. It's more dry and hard, so it really is better that you do the half cup like it calls for. So usually with most of my recipes, I improvise anything. Whatever it calls for. If it calls for butter, I'll use substitute coconut oil. Well, that one didn't come out so beautiful, but let's try to make it round. There we go. So there's the final one. So we're just going to put that down there, and I'll eat it anyway. I don't care. It's all going in your mouth and getting chewed, so who cares? So I got 3, 6, 9, 12. I got a little bit less this time than I normally do. Kind of depends on how much you're making. So, anyway, that is my famous crack cookies. It has lots of protein in it. It's got oatmeal for your fiber. Peanut butter is really good for you for, you know, a diet also, and coconut oil. So, I don't know. They're pretty awesome. They're yummy and they're healthy for you, so you can't beat it. So hope you like them. Tell me what you think. Thanks for watching.